Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Stone Avoid Weekly Podcast. As always, I'm going to start by introducing my two co-hosts, Don Bowie,
Hey.
Patrick Collins,
That's me.
and as always, I'm your host, Jay Phillips. This week, we're going to start off with something a little bit off topic, something that we usually don't cover, and that's the world of Magic. Unfortunately, I felt like we kind of needed to brush over this really quick, or actually talk about it. The artist of the most iconic artwork in Magic the Gathering, and for basically all of card history. If you play a card game, whether it's Yu-Gi-Oh!, even Pokemon, or trading baseball cards, you all know about some of the most iconic art in Magic, like the Black Lotus, or Lightning Bolt, or many other artworks such as those. Artist Christopher Rush unfortunately passed away last week, and I felt a moment about talking to him was a little bit appropriate. I know you guys have never met him.
Yeah.
I never knew him personally, but I did go to a lot of big tournaments back in the day for Magic the Gathering, and shook his hand, talked to him a bit, have a few cards signed by him. So it's really weird to see such an iconic person, such as that, somebody so profound in the community of card games, to have passed on. But it just shows how long card games have been out here for, and that's something that
Yeah. Did he start on the beginning of Magic?
Mm-hmm. He's been around ever since the alpha and beta of Magic, and I know this is a Force Will podcast, but once again, if you play any sort of card game, you know about Magic, and the artists that have basically started all of this for us. So, yeah, he's been around ever since the beginning. He was the very first Black Lotus art, which is the most iconic card in all of gaming history, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Besides Pikachu.
Hollow Charizard's pretty cool too.
That as well. But yeah, so just wanted to let y'all know and take a moment for that. But getting right back into Force of Will, we have a ton of new stuff that's came out over the past week. Some really cool promo art from Ultra Pro, since they seem to be doing a lot of really cool, unique, one-of-kind Force of Will products. And they're actually releasing a promo card with one of their new products coming up, and that's the green black stone, which is what's it called again?
Stone of Dark Silence?
There we go.
Yes.
Stone of Dark Silence. I keep on forgetting it because I keep on wanting to say that's the white black one. Pretty sure that one's correct. But it's cool to see that they're actually putting cards in with the sleeves like that. That's something I haven't seen another card game really do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's going to make collectors mad or not, because it's technically a easy to achieve promo, and it's not really.
It's pretty
rare.
cheap too. It's like 6 something MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try and carry it here in my store. It's a product that I know that's going to sell heavily. I think a lot of people are going to want play sets of it. So if it's a large print run, it's going to be kind of cool that they're going to possibly be doing more products like this. I like the idea. The only thing that we have that I've seen that's done something similar like that is with Magic. They do their own products where they do like a holiday box with a special promo. This is an entire different company picking up the promo, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've actually done this promo or not yet. I know that they've done most of the dual stones in some sort of promo art, but I think mainly overseas at this point.
I think they've done the full cycle of.
I've seen the red, blue one, and
I think they're starting to make promos of most of the dual stones for the U.S. anyways, or English versions of them.
That's pretty nice. It's nice to have.
They're really gnarly looking.
Yeah,
they're
the
really
art
cool.
looks awesome.
They're really cool. Which makes me sad that we're still not looking at a possible reprint for the next cluster, which is, of course, going back to Grim.
Saying that Jordan does, yeah.
It's what it's looking like. Which I'm okay with as long as they provide us with a new interesting stone mechanic that provides dual color. Of course, they've already given us those Moon and Will dual colored ones, but that's only in 2 colors. I would like to see a lot more of them.
I feel like from what Jordan was saying, they're trying to make the format slower. So
Right.
they might be making it harder stone-wise to get the exact color you want, or maybe punish you more, like the 200 life kind of 5-color stone. They're trying to make the format a lot slower, so I feel like that easily accessible 2-color stones where they both count as a normal stone of each type,
Right.
they're really strong.
It is, but that also makes two rulers that we have right now, which is Sylvia and Blaze, are the ones that allow you to produce another color off of any stone.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in Sylvia, that only makes the red
It's
stones
restricted,
produce green. It still allows those rulers to be much more powerful and more impactful because they do tap for the multicolored, which I could see if they don't provide us dual-colored stones, that really taking over the format. And Kaguya, now that she does have basically two other colors, she can run for free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is
really
only
powerful.
for the current set, so once they rotate out, like once Grim rotates out, it's gonna change the meta, right?
Yeah,
that's
and then
what we're mainly getting.
another big thing, forgot to talk about earlier. They're trying to phase out Regalia completely after this cluster is done.
I think that'd be healthy for the game. Regalia is a oddly listed card. However, this does mean that if we go to a more like vintage style format or modern style format with the game, and we stay out of well, of course we're going with the New Frontier format. But say we end up playing with the older cards at some point, like we're definitely doing here in our store, or planning to do anyways. That means the future cards aren't going to have any hate against Regalia, which could be a problem.
They're putting a lot of hate right now with the black spell.
Barrier shadows.
Blanking, yeah, and then Hera, and then
Right.
apparently there's stuff in this set, and there's also the ruler that makes it hard for Regalia to tap for their abilities.
And we do have the next set as well. That'll
Yes.
be very
I think-
important.
I mean, Maribel's still a viable
Yes,
this-
choice
obviously.
too.
This cluster was mainly focused on the Regalias, right? That was
Yeah,
the new
and that
introduction.
it kind of was a slight mistake. I mean, they were cool for a while, but they kind of got too
Overpowered.
overpopulated.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
kind of boring cards.
It's the zero cost that really makes it a problem. I think the fact that if it's the 3 cost one that we talked about last week and
That card's
cards like
cool.
that, all of those seem completely valid and normal. However, you could just make those addition fields or basically enchantments like in Magic, and they would be just as good, you know? So, yeah, making the zero costed regalias is, I think, where we really went wrong. Which they've addressed a little bit. I know Jordan has addressed a little bit, and that's really been the problem.
So I heard Jordan say that they weren't going to make any more cards that costed 0. Like for abilities, just free stuff.
In the future, I think that's something they want to get rid of altogether, which I think is important if they want the game to
Or
slow down.
it'll have a downside, like tapping or paying life or something.
Yeah, because
It
0
won't-
cost abilities.
I think they're trying to get rid of completely free abilities like reflect side, where it's just
Right.
200
Yeah.
buff and then
It's crazy.
untap. The fact that he had 3 choices, I think, is what's crazy. Maybe if it was just one of those abilities, it wouldn't be, out of the question. But the fact that he's got so much going on for him,
Yeah. Thinking of cards, though, as balanced, if they continue what they are doing with what we've seen so far with this new set, I think this new set is tremendously well balanced. All their resonators have what I think is correct for their attack values, and what I think for when they have abilities, having them knock down to the correct power levels. It seems like they're definitely getting more of a hang of it during this new set.
And I mean, even if this set doesn't even end up being balanced, I feel like, as you said, it looks like it's going in that direction. Like they're obviously trying to, get rid of whatever the last powerhouse was. They're obviously striving. They're trying to make the game
More balanced.
more balanced. So there's obviously that effort there, which is, honestly very exciting for me.
They're definitely taking the right step towards it, of course. And, of course, we also have a ton of spoilers for this past 2 weeks. And
So
especially
many
since we're
spoilers.
always a little bit late to them, let's just go ahead and dive into what we actually have right now. Starting off with what a lot of people are really happy, another Angel Resonator. It's a 500/500 body for 2 mana, or 2 will, 1 white, 1 colorless. Angel of Wisdom, Sheridan.
Sheridan? Keratin?
Keratin. Another name that I can't say. It has flying, and it has an awakening ability of 1 moon. So they're definitely keeping with the whole moon feel. I'm really glad that we're seeing a bunch of cards with this moon attribute in it. It really does feel like another color that is viable right now. When this card enters the field, destroy target fire or darkness resonator. If you do, put 2 100/100 counters on this card, and it's awesome that they're getting counters in this game. I was really hoping that we'd start seeing buffs like that. Of course, we saw that with the first white spoilers, but now it's the creatures with that built in. And we also now see even more hate for Fire and Darkness Resonator coming from a white creature, which is funny because we had a lot of that in the original Grim cluster. So,
and then, this cluster's been kind of lacking that so far. But yeah, it's coming back. It's great. Yeah, it's cool to see another angel, and this angel's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I believe. It does die to bolt, but for 3 mana, it does kill the deck that bolted you. So, I mean, if that's really where
or it kills a very strong incarnated Cthulhu,
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be playable?
White's looking really good.
White's alright. White's hasn't seen much play recently.
I think White's getting a buff.
It's getting a lot better. It's something that with the new Kaguya, I'm looking to at least test out some ideas.
It might be a sideboard card.
Yeah. I could see, definitely the Angel deck, running Arla or something like that, Arla's Angels.
Yeah, if
that's
Arla
a card that would definitely go in there.
Back,
especially when they need to hate out a black or red deck.
Yeah.
So it's definitely viable in that. I don't know if the big Angel that searches and puts into play an Angel from your deck, you can't awaken off of that, can you? So that kind of is a sad combo.
Celestial Wing Seraph?
Yeah. I think that's the card I'm thinking. The 1,000,000, when it enters the battlefield, search for a Angel Resonator with converted will cost of 4 or less and put it into play. And I'm pretty sure Awakening has to be casted. So that's a little bit of a sad combo.
Jordan has hinted that we're going to get a better 4-drop Angel than the vanilla one that we currently have.
That would be good. That'd be really nice. I'm super happy to see Were-Rabbits come back. Unfortunately, still not in any blue colors, which I guess is completely fine since Kaguya is now white. But we have next up a 1-drop. It's a 200 attack, 600 defense, Were-Rabbit for 1 white, like I said, and it is
the name?
Yeah.
Crescent Moon Magician.
I can read so well. Crescent Moon Magician.
Sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, just a little bit. And it has another Awakening ability of 1 moon, 1 colorless. When this card enters the field, it deals 600 damage to target Resonator. If that damage was dealt this way, put 2 +100/+100 counters on it. So yet again, another buffer. So it looks like we're going to have a lot of these buffing mechanics for cards that are already on curve. So if you're getting those extra 2 counters, they're just that much better. I mean, this can block a Lancelot. Of course, that you'd had to play that on turn 3. But if you had that Regalia that produces moon mana for Awakening, then you're already playing this on turn 2. And that seems really great to have a 400, 800, basically.
Yeah, it's not a terrible turn 1 card, if you're kind of forced down that hole either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it also kills Lancelot on the way in.
Yeah.
When you awaken it. That's awesome.
No, the Awaken is definitely what makes it stand out.
This is a real card that might see play.
Might see play. Yeah. It's a nice butt on it.
They did mix some other colored attributes with the spoilers, so we're not just covering all white spoilers today. We actually have a green spoiler as well, which is Servant of the Sacred Moon, which is 1 green, 1 colorless. And it is another elf resonator. 1 moon. This card gains +0/+400 until end turn, and it's 600 attack, 500 defense. Not the best elf that we've ever seen, but reasonable. Nice little mana so it can block whatever. It works well with the other elf.
It can kill Lancelot. It has the potential.
Trade with the Lancelot.
It just doesn't do much else than that, though.
Yeah.
No.
There's other better 600.
It looks like the moon is in her hands.
Kind of reaching up and grabbing it.
Yeah, I got it.
Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a Spirit Bomb, actually, after thinking about it. The butterflies are sacrificing themselves to the Spirit Bomb. They're just flying into it.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what it looks like. Definitely looks like this is a card meant for limited. I don't think it's going to see any
it's a strong limited card, though. Anything with 600 attack and limited for 2 mana is strong.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's perfectly on curve, and especially for having a small mana sink like that, that's awesome. Next up, we have Luminescence bamboo bullet.
Luminescent.
Bamboo bullet. 1 white, 1 colorless, and it is a chant, not an instant, unfortunately. Destroy target resonator. Destroy up to 1 second target resonator if this card was awakened. Sorry, that read a little funny to me for a second, since the awakening is at the end, which is
It's
1 moon and 1 colorless. So if you pay a total of 4, you can take out 2 creatures in turn, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for 4 mana, killing 2 dudes is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't see standard play, this is definitely like a limited bomb card.
It's a limited powerhouse.
Yeah.
This just kills everything that there's out there. I think this will see.
It has a chance to see play.
No, I mean, in all card games, removal is some of the best things that you can do. Usually, you would see something like this in black if you're playing Magic. However, this is not something that if destroy target resonator is a white ability, I'm super excited to see the future of what white will do.
But it is the resonator has to be rested. There is a condition.
That is a problem.
So it is a little weak in that respect.
Right.
Obviously, best case scenario, you tapped them down yourself rather than them attacking into you, taking damage, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna.
White has some pretty strong removal too, like Grand Cross. This guy signed to the future, and they're all solid.
But they're all
cards
conditional though. Yeah. They're your opponent has to be ahead of you,
right?
In a sense,
and it quickly catches you back up though and puts you on tempo with them, which you don't want to be reacting to them. You want to be ahead of them, but. They do see a lot of play because they are very strong when those conditions are met. So it's kind of nice. The next up that we have is Lunar
Abyss.
Abyss? Okay.
I would say
that's what I thought it was going to be.
Ibis.
It might be Ibis.
Ibis. 1 white will. It is a 300 for 1, which is perfectly what you want for this. It has flying, which makes it even better, and an awakening. When this card enters the field, recover target resonator. If you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this card. So this is your perfect turn 1 play if you're against a deck that is aggressive and wants to hit you in the air. It's a perfect on turn 2 if you want to untap your mana elf that you just used to help awaken this thing, and then maybe play another thing.
I think this is better than that other combo
2.
white card that untaps something that we talked about last release.
Yeah, I remember that one.
The sack.
No, this is really great because you just play it and you get the
and it's got flying too. It's got evasion.
And it's a
small body, but it's probably gonna get through though.
Well, it becomes a 200. A 500 2 mana or 2 will flyer that untapped a creature, which is phenomenally good.
Yes,
that's going to see so much play.
It's awesome.
I wish that there was a 2 mana that did either tap something down or untapped it, but if I can't have both, I'm more happy to have this as the ability. Untapping things can get more broken.
Yeah, I hope this card sees play in Constructed. I definitely will see play in Limited. But
late game untapping your Wyvern and letting it hit the second time is just...
Or having another Susanoo attack.
There's
crazy.
So many ways to just have that be a game ender. And it's something you actually want to play, unlike the last one, which, although you could search it out with Deep Blue, the little Alice's Scout Pawn thing that untaps something, this one is just something that's good on turn 1 through later, and you're not
it's a decent 3/3 flyer body. It's going to do damage if you play it turn 1.
Exactly.
Yeah. The flying really sets it over the top. Next up, we have Holy Moon of the Pure Knights. It is 1 white will, 1 colorless, and it is J resonators. You control with Awakening, gain +200/+200, and it has 1 will or 1 moon will, 2 colorless. Rest target J ruler.
That is amazing.
It's a field edition.
With
so
your
it is
bloody
just
Snow White is just super control.
It is super powerful to be able to just rest out a opponent's ruler for the rest of the game. This can make them, if they flip early, stop them from ever producing any more will, which, let alone making them stop attacking. That's why Bloody Snow White was so powerful.
Yeah, it's giving white an answer to J rulers, because green has the fight mechanic, and red has just thunders and burn, and black has some stuff. Does it have
Death
stuff?
Scythes and things
Death
like that,
Scythes,
right?
yeah.
It has various ways of stopping Ruler from coming back. Green has things that target and take away abilities.
Final
and then
Frontier.
Final Frontier. Final Forfeit.
Final Frontier. Yeah.
Final 14.
I'm not the only one that slurs and messes things up.
Yeah.
Yay. Although I'm going to mess up terribly on the next card, so I'm kind of avoiding reading it. Churshashkarium?
Tsukuyomi.
There we go.
Tsukiyomi
Noble. Which is 2 white
Noble.
will.
You put some spaz on that one.
Noble. It is 2 white will, and it does not cover up another will symbol, much like we had in the last set with Chrysia,
Yep.
who I, for the longest time, thought was 2 mana, and it was the best card in the set, and I was so happy, and then somebody was like, there's a 1 there. And I was like, dream's broken. I'm dead now. This card is all that I wanted in this game. This is going to be one of my
Amazing card.
most played cards. It is also a moon and a myth, which is very important considering its coming up abilities, which is players cannot play active abilities of resonators they control unless they control a moon. And she's a moon.
And she's a moon.
She's a 500,
Oh
700
my
body, and she also has Awakening for 1 moon mana. When this card enters the field, destroy target non-moon addition. If you do, put up to 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and it doesn't even matter that won't hit half the time because it's just solid. It's out of bolting range. You have
Without
to.
the awakening, it is still amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
This is going to make a white weenie strategy deck completely viable. It's going to make a Death and Taxes style.
Yeah, control is coming. Control's
Control.
coming.
So many different archetypes can be supported because of this card. If we get any more support like this in the set, which it looks like we are, this is going to be a real thing.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to see this coming around. The one thing you got to note is it does not interact with J rulers, and that's a little bit of a sad thing considering those are the most powerful effects.
What this card doesn't?
No, it doesn't hit your opponent's J rulers, just
That would be
resonators.
crazy. But
I think
It
it'd
would.
be too powerful to hit J rulers.
It
So,
would, but
this card,
man.
would that just destroy like decks with elves and feastings and
Yes.
and six
You-
sages and
If I go turn 1 something, you go turn 1 elf, I go turn 2 this, you go turn 2, damn it, I have to play a 2 mana costed thing because you can't tap for will with your elf.
Grendel, I'm counting on you.
are enter abilities considered activated abilities?
Those are triggered,
Okay.
which are
Kaguya can counter those though.
Kagi can counter those, which you might be playing in the same deck.
I would
they're
assume they're
calling
the same.
those what was the word that Kagi is called?
Non-activated abilities.
Yeah, is that what they're calling it? I liked when
Yeah.
they just called it triggered abilities in other card games. Much easier to understand.
They want it to
Whatever.
be different.
Yeah.
And understandably, for any copyright problems, you've achieved that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, there we go. I needed someone's approval.
So this card, I feel like, is kind of broken. And it's gonna get errata in the future. How do you know?
I don't think it's that
The
strong.
Moon and Myth?
The Moon and Myth.
I don't think it's that strong. I think it's a card that enables really awesome strategies. It goes immediately in the cube. For those of you who don't know, we have a cube here in my store that we run all the time. It's a lot of fun. I'll eventually post that list of cards when I get around to typing everything out and hate my life. I will share that with you guys. Also, we have something coming up for you guys in the future. I don't want to spoil anything just yet, but we are having more content for you guys, and that might be a part of it. But I don't think there's going to be a route to that card.
Yeah. It dies to removal.
It does.
It dies. Yeah, but it's
There's
a
so
fat,
many ways to
fat
answer it.
body. It's a fat body. It doesn't die to thunder. The only thing
But it
that-
doesn't kill things on curve itself. It does if you awaken it. And what am I awakening on? Something that's probably already killing my face. Like Habano. No, Field Edition, sorry. Barrier Shadows or something like that is what it's going to be popping.
Yeah.
I think it's a completely fair card.
Yeah. Okay.
The card that's coming up...
It's a strong fair card, but it's a fair
Yeah.
card.
Okay.
However, the card coming up next is so good, it's already an errata before it even came out.
Great.
Izumi? Is that the name?
Izanami.
Izanami?
Yeah, that's got to be it.
I am loving dyslexia. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. The Sealed Terror.
Sealed Terror.
She has one darkness, one... What, it's called darkness, right?
Yeah, you're doing good.
I'm just making sure it's called darkness. One colorless, and it is a 12 apostle / myth, so we got another 12 apostle.
Woo!
It is a 600, and as it reads on card currently, 3 black will, or 3 darkness will, 2 colorless. Remove a card from your graveyard and destroy target resonator. Then one darkness, 1 moon. Remove a card in your graveyard from the game, and your opponent discards a card. That is brokenly awesomely good. I was so excited literally 20 minutes ago when I thought this was a thing, and then somebody ruined my day, like he always does.
I read.
Much better than me. And has found out that it is errated already to remove this card from the graveyard, destroy target resonator, and remove this card from the graveyard from the game, and your opponent discards a card. So when this card is in the graveyard, you may use these abilities to make them do these horrible, despicable things, which are so good, and I'm kind of glad aren't just a discard a card on a stick, because this thing would completely...
Super control.
Wreck decks.
This would just be... you build this deck, and it would be amazing. And I'm glad that it's not as powerful as I thought it was, because as much as I want it to be...
Here comes Patrick to save the day.
Yeah.
Right, Dom?
Yeah, you saved my day.
Still a really good card, though. I mean, you're going to see it a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody soul haunts you, you discard this, and it's going to get everything really well. You can play it in a deck that when you need to discard something, you can always toss it. It's always a viable thing to toss. And it also, for 2 mana, comes on the field, blocks a Lancelot, they trade, and then you make him discard a card later.
Yeah, it's not a card that I feel bad about dying to something.
No.
Like, I
You're
love
getting-
cards like that.
You're getting so much advantage for this because it's active on the field. It's a 600 relevant body, and then once it goes to the grave, it takes care of another card.
It's like it's card advantage.
You
Yeah.
get 2 from 1, so your opponent usually, not always, but it's perfectly on curve. Next up is a card that is not on curve, but is still amazing. Is Nagi, Keeper of the Seal.
Yeah, sounds
He
good.
has 2 white will, 4 colorless, and he is a myth. Lots of myths in this set,
myth.
which is awesome since the only myth that we had up until the set, which was from
Moa?
Moa, and that's, of course, Susanoo. And this card is a 11/11, which I think is a little low for how much mana you're putting into him. However, he does give you a bunch of card advantage in the fact that when this card enters the field, you may remove up to 3 target resonators and or regalia your opponent controls from the game. And when this card leaves the field, put from a non
This is the card
field
with the
zone.
bad translation.
Put this. Good job on translation here. I'm messing it up tremendously well. Put those removed cards into their owner's hand. This card gains +300/+300 for each card in all removed areas that were removed by this card.
I dare anyone to read this card without stuttering. This one is a tough one.
Yeah, I butchered that terribly, but yet not at all.
Yes.
So this is a really, really great card. Unfortunately, it doesn't have some of the abilities of
Did you read that ability?
Which one?
Gain 300?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Sorry, I'm not listening.
Nobody does. This is a really great card, really powerful effect. Removing 3 things is awesome. We've had a card similar to this in Magic. Of course, I'm bringing up Magic way too much today. I'm sorry, guys, but it's a game I used to play. To be fair, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and a bunch of other things. Never Vanguard because you know what you
No.
did. No. And I'm kind of comparing this to another card that was for the same mana cost or converted cost of will. Had flying, and you could remove things from the graveyard and from your field as well, which is actually really relevant.
But it didn't get buffed.
It didn't get buffed.
This is a 2000, which is like
2K.
which is like the biggest thing other than tied with Ouroboros.
It is huge, but it also doesn't have swiftness. They can instantly kill it. There's no way it protects itself. It's just not the full package that I want it to be.
True, that
Still
home slice.
really, really good. If you can cheat this into play, you've got it. You've got it, dude. I can see this card seeing play. I just don't see it as the complete powerhouse that I want it to be. And that's just me being completely jaded from another game, and I don't know why I'm doing that, but here we are.
I think white needs this powerhouse.
It does. I
Arthur's
just wish
pretty
it was a little
good,
stronger.
but this one I think is much more fun and exploitable with its enter ability.
Oh, yeah.
How do you exploit enter abilities in this game?
Graveyard manipulation?
Yeah, getting into the field faster. There's not too many ways to flicker it, which is really where I want this card to be.
Oh,
there's
what
the
You can use Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet does flicker. There's that terrible genie that nobody should ever play, but people try to anyways. Yay, casual. Sorry. This card is good though. I definitely see it seeing play.
I'll definitely see play.
Yes.
6 is a lot. It has to go in the right deck. Do you
Yeah,
think it
you
would
gotta
go in
cheat
like
it
a
out.
combo deck?
It might be.
Yumata combo deck, maybe?
It might be.
I think you just
Support.
play it on a deck that is able to just kind of casually put it back out into
There's
play.
white's looking kind of control-y. Like, there's probably a home for that card somewhere.
Yeah, even in late game, it is good. If you're a control deck that can actually get late enough to throw that down, removing 3 things is really relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, that giant thing that everybody thinks is unstoppable, the giant tree of Yggdrasil. Please stop that, guys. I mean, it comes into play, removes Alice, removes the regalia, and then removes something else, and then attacks them later, and they're
But you
dead.
need to pay 2 mana if they have the sword.
Because, no, that's targeting...
Alice.
That's true. Wait,
Gotcha.
is that... I thought that was... that's a summoning spell. That's for normal spells. You don't have to pay it more.
Really? I thought it was
only
any
summoning
spell
spells.
or ability.
No, it's only normal spells.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Haster could kill Alice
Yeah.
easily?
Yes.
Oh.
I might be wrong. I'm going to look that up in a minute,
Ooh,
but
I don't think you're right.
pretend I'm correct for a few seconds and go on and talk about it, guys, while I look it up.
Okay, I guess we're looking it up.
No, I meant talk about the card. Whether it's good or not. Why? You guys are really good at...
Keeping conversation.
yes. Your opponent cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls, so you're right.
Your opponent cannot be targeted by spells or abilities.
Alice can't be.
Yeah. So that's what it reads on the blade of the 7 lands, Excalibur X. Your J Ruler and Resonator Alice gains +400. And the relevant part, I got there. Whenever your J Ruler or Avatar of the 7 lands Alice you control becomes targeted by spells or abilities, so you're right. Cancel that spell or ability unless
They can still get rid of this though.
pays 2. So you can target this, and then it gets rid of this, and then you're free to bolt them in the face.
Yep.
Which is an even better, quicker strategy than attacking next turn with this after he gets destroyed. So do that. Still really relevant. Not exactly how I read it off the first time, but I mean, there seems to be a lot of ways out against that tree. I'm very skeptical.
I'm spectacle.
Spectacle. that tree's actually going to do anything of what everybody keeps telling me it's going to do. However, another card that is going to do nothing, which is Izuzuni's Curse, the Giant Girl's Curse.
Yeah.
For 1 black mana, target... Oh, wait, no. This card is going to do a lot. I'm thinking about the next one. Terribly sorry, guys. Carry on like it never happened. Target Resonator gains -100 for each card in your graveyard until end of turn. This card is awesome, and it is a spell, chant, instant. I think this is going to see all the play.
Interesting.
Would
Maybe in a Rezard deck, because you're self-milling yourself.
I think on any game that's playing out normally, this is going to be a great card because it's...
But not 4 of, right?
I'd run 3 of in most decks, honestly. I see it as a very strong card. I played this a card similar to this in Magic. Sorry, I'm going back there again, guys. That was 1 black, 1 green. So it was 2 mana, and it gave something -1, in that game. The values are a lot different for every land in your graveyard, which was way worse. And I still seen a ton of play of that because you could get 1 or 2 lands in your graveyard by turn 3, and it was amazing. Or if you could just dredge yourself in that game, which is a way of milling yourself. This is for every card in your graveyard. It's going to get really big, really fast by you just playing the game. Just for you casting this card, it's already 1 card in your graveyard. If something else has died, it's 2. It goes forward by you just playing the game. If you soul haunted somebody, you've discarded soul haunt, and then you discarded 1 card from your hand, and then you play this card that's -3/-3 to the first thing that they played. That's kills off a 1-drop, kills off an elf very quickly with 1 ward. I think it's a really great card.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think I need to see it to believe it, kind of, but
yeah,
it's a cool card though.
It does get very lackluster late game when you need a ton of cards to kill something huge, but it's going to be able to get rid of Lancelots and things like that really easy for 1 black mana.
Okay.
But yeah, it does get stronger in a Rizard deck.
So would this card be countered by Persea's Regalia?
Yes, it
would
does.
that be a hard counter? So would you just play
side out?
Yeah, side out of them if they were playing a 1 of the thing.
Yeah, I mean that is a thing that Persea's Regalia could stop it, but people only play usually 1 copy of that. They're not going to waste too many resources stopping that.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it's going to be that big a problem. It's not like they're trying to stop a Yamada combo where that's desperate that they have to.
Yeah.
So I think it's a negligible thing to try to stop. So I think it's worth it. However, I do not think this card is worth it. This is the one I meant to talk about. Silencing Spell, which is 1 black, and it is added Resonator gains. You pay 2 more to play normal spells, which if it was 2 more to play spells, I'm all about this. I'd run this all day and night. However, it's just normal spells, and that means they're still attacking with this creature. They're going to play another creature, and they're just going to keep playing creatures. And this is very sad.
Yeah.
You just die.
And then the fact that you want that creature to live is kind of awkward.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could Bind to Gravity it and keep it tapped down.
Yeah, I like Bind to Gravity way more than this card.
But now you're and you don't want to do 2 card combo. Just play Bind to Gravity and make yourself happier. Even Bind to Gravity is kind of bad because they can just
sack it or something.
Sack it to everything in the game that there's a sack outlet for everything. Like this card, which is Knight's Shade and 1 black, 1 colorless, 300, really small little creature for what he for the amount of will he is. However, he is another shadow / knight, so it's cool that we're getting more shadow support. And when this card is put into the graveyard from your field, each player banishes a non-shadow resonator. So if you're in a shadow resonator deck, you lose nothing, and if your opponent's in a shadow resonator deck, they lose nothing, and you're really, really sad because you played this against another shadow player deck. Don't do that.
Because that always happens. It's
going to happen more often than not if this is actually a good card. I brought that up immediately because the other card that we have, which is Mozart, right? That your opponent sacrifices a creature.
Oh, Mozart.
Your opponent sacrifices a creature when this creature dies. Infinitely better than this card because it says they sacrifice a creature. And it's not both opponents. This means you have to run this in a shadow deck. You can't run it with other creatures. And you're really, really sad in the mirror match.
Yeah, Mozart's the same
Infinitely
thing.
better.
It's a 2 cost. It does the same thing.
People were talking super awesome hype about this card, and I have no idea why because it's so situational.
If Shadows gets another buff other than this card, I think it is something to talk about.
And if Shadows are good, this card is bad.
Because more people
are playing Shadows.
Okay.
Last thing you're going to do is have this card main decked against another shadow, against a field of shadow decks.
Mm-hmm.
If there is even 20% of your local meta is Shadows, put this in your sideboard. I think you play this when shadows aren't good, and you make the good shadow deck that beats everybody else because nobody saw it coming. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that's more of a Cthulhu build. And then this makes you sacrifice your Cthulhu. So just play Mozart. And then, yeah. Sorry, guys. Last but not least for this week, we're done with all the spoilers. The only other thing that I remember coming out, actually, there's two more things that I actually want to talk about. Really quickly, we did get an announcement for the championships that come out in September. And that was, what was the dates that you guys have for that? It was like the 26th, 27th, and 28th?
I think it was like the 17th, 18th, 19th, or 16th,
Or like
17th.
15, 16, 17,
Yeah.
16,
Oh,
17.
we're really good. It's on the side because he researched it and put it on the side for us. However, there's a awesome video out by Force of Will proper. By awesome, I mean more of their very hilarious videos that we all... Yeah.
It's so amazing.
All of the videos that they put out for all of the promotional
so
materials
great.
are the most campy, derpy like videos possible, and I'm starting to really love them for that.
I
reason.
really like them. I hope they don't change. Like
It's
I
so
literally,
cheesy.
I
It's
hope the
cheesy.
budget stays the same for all those videos. They're so great.
Well, even with the budget, like they've obviously had more budget since the first time they released one of these videos, but it's only making it more awkward, and it's so much better for that. I'm super jealous by their ruler cards for themselves, though. I really, at some point, we're doing that. But all of their videos are pretty awesome in that regard.
Yeah, they're pretty funny. They're so great. I look forward to those so much. Like they even had like the accountant have like a ruler card. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Also, the other thing that we want to talk about really quick is we did get a little bit of information leaked by Jordan himself, and that was in regards to the red ruler and the other rulers, their
Amount of support.
the amount of support that each one is getting. Do you want to go ahead and cover that?
Yeah, very quickly. So the red ruler, he's going to get a lot of support in this next set. So right now, the speculation is he's probably the weakest, but there's a lot of cards that we haven't seen yet, and apparently a lot of the red cards are supposed to revolve around him. So there will probably be a lot of removal of the graveyard or something along those lines.
It's interesting, like you were mentioning how all the super rares have been myths so far. And Susanoo was a myth in the other set.
He's
like,
an
uncommon myth. So what if Susanoo is like one of the red super
He might
rares?
come back.
That's interesting.
He might come back.
Ooh, a reprint of him. That'd be interesting.
He's not going to be reprinted.
It's not,
but
yeah.
like he probably will get another card.
a new version of
might,
Susanoo.
He's saying he might
Gotcha.
be a super rare.
Ooh, what's better than what he is already?
I don't know.
Everything 3 less if they have anything on the field rather than a check.
He enters the battlefield, get 5 swords and attach it to him.
Yeah.
You get all 10 swords.
Yeah, from your deck.
From your sideboard into
In your yes.
Yeah, reveal them from your sideboard, put them into play, go crazy. That sounds really bad.
Yeah, and then the blue ruler. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Muse.
Muse.
Oh wait, yeah.
Whatever her name is.
It's not Muse.
no.
The blue ruler, she is a very much a build-around ruler where you need cards that reveal and do stuff with the top of your deck and manipulate it. So I can see them needing
She'll
a lot
have the
of support
next
for
most
that card in
support.
general. Right.
And then the other 3 rulers will have less support revolving around them, but they're pretty strong. I mean, arguably we kind of dislike the tree. It sounds like for the most part.
I
I don't
it.
dislike
You like
it.
the tree.
I
I like
actually
the
do
tree.
like it. I just don't like the amount of it's unstoppable and you'll never beat it.
Like how
talk
everyone
that
talks
everybody's
about.
having.
Kind of
Right.
like all the talk around Sylvia last set.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
want to. I'm taking more of a pessimistic approach to it because I see a lot of ways to beat it,
I personally just think it's
Yeah.
a boring ruler.
and it's kind of boring.
It's interesting.
But yeah, I mean, so if you're hyped up about the red ruler, that's cool. And the blue ruler will get support also. The other 3 will have a little less support. I mean, they still will have great cards, just not cards that really revolve around them or directly help. Like if you control this ruler, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
blah, blah.
and that type of support would make. I like that they have that in mind for that ruler because he does seem very deep and needs a lot of support. and I'm just hoping it's not a lot of weak support like Shadows were in the last set
Yeah.
for Dark Alice. However, she is awesome on her own. However, something like the Tree of Yggdrasil, hopefully if you guys do find that card boring, you don't find us boring though, and you will like and subscribe to us. This is all for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, I was your host, Jay Phillips, joined by...
Don Bowie.
And I'm Ginger. And happy birthday, Jay!
Happy birthday, Jay!
Yeah!
Have a good one, guys.